So just 2 wins to go until Liverpool clinch the Premier League title, and they can of course get one of those this weekend when they travel to Leicester City and face them at the King Power Stadium. So being here at the AXA Training Centre, which you can just see over my shoulder, to hear from Arne Slot ahead of that challenge on Sunday, and loads in this press conference really on contracts, team news, transfers, just absolutely loads to get into. So I guess I'll start with the summer and the transfer business that may be coming up at Liverpool, because let's be honest, with them so close to the Premier League title, a lot of us are already turning our attentions to what is going to happen to this squad, how things are going to change once Arne Slot fully gets his hands on it this summer. And it's interesting actually, he was tempted into talking about the summer a little bit on the back of Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah signing their new contracts. Of course, great news yesterday, confirmation that Virgil van Dijk has joined Mo Salah in extending his Liverpool contract for another year. And Arne Slot was asked about that and kind of the message that it sends out about Liverpool and what direction they are heading in. And he said that we are able to keep them when they are free agents tells you the ambition we have for the coming years. So he thinks it sends out a really strong signal that Liverpool want to build on this Premier League title that they're about to clinch, and they want to win more in the coming years. And that's why it's important to keep your best players, to send the message to other players that this is going to be a good future for Liverpool, and this is a place worth being. And also, of course, keeping your best players is also helpful in terms of sustaining that level of performance. Now, after that, he was pushed on Virgil van Dijk's recent comments, which I'm sure you've all seen, where he suggested that he expects it to be a big summer for Liverpool, that they are going to keep building on this. And it was interesting, Arne Slot kind of at that point, I guess, wanted to kind of pull back expectations a little bit. I guess it's important for him to kind of manage those and not allow fans to think too big about this summer coming up, because obviously Liverpool will spend within the means. I don't think it's going to be absolutely crazy, albeit I do expect them to be very busy because of the outgoings that we can expect. And he said, I think at Liverpool there is always a big summer, and it's already a big summer now, holding on to those two. So he does think the contracts are a big part of that. But it was put to him then, look, if you stand still, do you go backwards? Is that true? People say that often about teams. If you don't build from a position of strength, will that make you a worse team next season? And he said, look, we showed the opposite this season, and he has a fair point in that. Obviously Liverpool had Chiesa and he doesn't play any minutes, but they do get better as a team, so that is a fair point. But he did go on to add, the core of the team you want to keep, but it's also good to have new energy around the place with 1 or 2 new players. So suggestions there that he is keen to add to this squad, and he believes that it will add a new energy around the place and also a bit of quality. And let's be honest, he needs a bit more options in terms of rotating, doesn't he? Because he's used a very small squad this season. I'm not sure that's sustainable going forward. So he's obviously keen on the idea that Liverpool are going to add to this squad in the summer. Now, in terms of what he actually wants, it's an interesting question, isn't it? We've talked about fullbacks, central defenders, midfielders, but I think for me the number one target and the most important signing Liverpool can make this summer is going to be in that number 9 position. Now, we know that Darwin Núñez is going to leave. We expect that is going to be the case. There's real interest in him. Liverpool are willing to sanction a deal, and it looks like the money's going to be right for them. And of course, importantly, the player also wants to go. So all the ingredients are there for him to leave. But of course, he's played a lot of games, scored a few goals this season, scored a few goals over the last 3 years. So Liverpool are definitely going to need to replace him. So it's an important target. And for me, it's an area where Liverpool can make instant improvement. You know, if they had a number 9 of the correct quality, given they've had to battle through this season with an injured Jota and Darwin Núñez and his inconsistency, I think it's an area of the team where if you get that right, they can instantly improve on what they've done this season. So he was asked, look, what do you actually want in the number 9? And I thought he might bat this question down and maybe not want to answer it, because it probably gives away too much about the transfer plans and the fact that Liverpool are going to target a number 9 in the summer. But he was really good on this, and he said the simple answer of what you want from a number 9 is goals. He needs to produce goals. Apart from that, in modern day football, they need to work hard and be part of an intense pressing team. And he cited Paris Saint-Germain as the example of that he'd seen. Now, of course, they don't play a kind of orthodox number 9, do they, in Ousmane Dembele there, but they get from all across the front line, a lot of goals, a lot of pressing, a lot of energy, and they can all mix and move positions. So maybe that kind of gives you an idea that he's not necessarily targeting an out-and-out 9, and maybe they want someone who's a little bit more flexible and able to play the position in the way that Dembele does. And I think that might be a smart decision for Liverpool as well, because I look at the number 9 market this summer and I'm not absolutely blown away. I mean, I think there's question marks over all the big hitters really that are being linked to Liverpool at the moment. I mean, Ekitike at the moment, he's scored, but it's the Bundesliga and he's not absolutely prolific there. And we know when you come to the Premier League, it's harder to get goals. Similarly, Gyökeres, again, can he convert those goal numbers in Portugal to England? That is very difficult to do, albeit he has done it in the Championship. But again, it's kind of hit and miss with strikers coming up from the Championship. Some are great successes, some are definitely not. So very, very hard to kind of judge that one. I mean, you look at Ollie Watkins, for example. He took like a duck to water to the Premier League. And then you look at Sammy Smodics, for example, at Ipswich. He's not being quite the same. So it's really difficult to manage that. And like I say, there's not a great deal of number 9s out there available who you can say are absolutely nailed on to score goals next season. So it's a really difficult one. So maybe he's hinting there that Liverpool might go down that route that PSG have in terms of going for someone who's not an orthodox number 9 but can score goals, can link up play, can press as well. So really, really interested to see what Liverpool do there. But I think it's clear that they do want a number 9. It's just going to be fascinating to see who that shortlist comes down to, because they've looked at a few players, but who is it going to be? Do let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on that. And just a final point as well, I want to make as well, of course, he also spoke about Trent Alexander-Arnold on a couple of fronts really. He revealed that he is back in training. He played a full part in yesterday's training session, but he expects he's only going to be ready for the bench. And he spoke about him actually in terms of where his mind's at the moment. Obviously he's not signed a contract yet. We probably don't expect he's going to, because there's that Real Madrid interest, and it does look to all intents and purposes like he is going to go to Real Madrid at the end of the season. But he spoke about he shows great commitment every time he's in training, shows his quality whenever he's on the pitch, so really talking him up. But it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? He's going to be on the bench at Leicester, or we expect he'll be on the bench at Leicester, judging by what Arne Slot said. But it's looking likely that he could get on the pitch as well, because he also mentioned, Arne Slot, that Conor Bradley is only just back to full fitness, so you need to manage his minutes. So there's potential there for Bradley to start the game, we expect, but then Trent Alexander-Arnold to come on late on. And that's an interesting one, because what kind of reception is he going to get from those fans in the corner at the King Power Stadium? It's really hard to say, isn't it? Because obviously so many reports about Real Madrid. You've got the 2 players have committed their future. Trent is still stalling. Doesn't look like he's going to sign that contract. It would take a big U-turn from here. So what kind of reception is he going to get from the fans? It's going to be a really interesting one, but it does look like he is going to get back in the squad this weekend and back on the pitch as well. So really fascinated to see how that one plays out. So I'm going to wrap it up there anyway. Let me know your thoughts on all the talking points, the contracts, Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation, and what number 9 do you want to see targeted? Because I'm no scout, I always say that, and I really don't know what Liverpool are going to go for this summer. It doesn't look a great number 9 market to me, but let me know your thoughts on that. Always interested to hear them. And as I say, going to wrap it up there, but if you can like and subscribe, always massively appreciated. Really pushing for that 30,000, so let's keep subscribing if you can. And of course, I'll be back for my match reaction after the Leicester game on Sunday, so see you guys then.